calculate the expected value, variance and standard deviation for the probability distribution shown below. Now it's the same one that we've had before. So we know for this one the expectation of x is 2. The variance of x is 0.5. And the standard deviation of x to 3 decimal places is 0.707. Now consider the probability distribution of y. Write a relationship between x and y in the form y equals ax plus b. Well, we can see that the spacing here is 2, whereas up here the spacing is just 1, 2, 3. So that suggests 2x. Now if we start with 1, 2 times 1 is 2. This is 5, so plus 3. Let's just check that works. 2 times 2 is 4, add 3 is 7. 2 times 3 is 6, add 3 is 9. So y equals 2x plus 3. And we now want to calculate the expected value, variance and standard deviation for y. Well, because of the symmetry, we know that the expectation of y is just going to be 7. Now, for the variance of y, we know that we want the expectation of y squared. Take away the expectation of y squared. And the expectation of y squared is going to be 5 squared times 0.25 plus 7 squared times 0.5 plus 9 squared times 0.25. And I'm just going to pause recording while I calculate that. So we can see at the top here, I've got the 5 squared times 0.25 plus 7 squared times 0.5 plus 9 squared times 0.25, which gives me the expectation of y squared is 51. And then the variance of y is that take away the 7 squared, which is 2. So we've got the variance of y is equal to 2. And of course, the standard deviation of y is just the square root of 2, which is 1.414. Correct to 3 decimal places. So we've got all of those there. And we want to write a relationship between the expectation of x and expectation of y in this form. Well, the expectation of x we know was 2. The expectation of y is 7. Well, does that follow this relationship here? Well, 2 times 2 is 4, add 3 is 7. So indeed it does. The expectation of y is equal to twice the expectation of x plus 3. Now we're asked to write a relationship between var x and var y in the form var y equals. Well, the variance of x was 0.5. The variance of y was equal to 2. Well, that's times 4, which of course is 2 squared. Now remember here that we've said that y is equal to 2x plus 3. So var y is equal to 4 times var x. Now we know that the standard deviation of x was 0.707, and the standard deviation of y is the square root of 2, which is about 1.414. And that is times 2. So the standard deviation of y is twice the standard deviation of x. So what do we notice? Well, if we look here, we can see that the expectation is affected both by the multiplication of 2 and the adding of 3. Whereas the variance is only affected by the multiplication by 2, as is the standard deviation. And of course, this one is 4, just because variance is a squared quantity. So overall, we can say that expectation is affected both by multiplication. When we do ax plus b, it's affected by the multiplication here and the addition, whereas the variance and the standard deviation are only affected by the multiplication.